Hello, hello, hello. Hooligan Soccer Podcast. Coming at you, as always, on this MLK Monday Champions League special with myself, Gary Stryker, and a Bronchiosaurus
It's
Qooligan.
funny. You had to go and mention MLK because I was going to start this off on a little bit more of a confrontational tone. And then you go and you drop his name and all of a sudden there's I go, damn it, I can't do that. I've got to channel my inner peace. So, happy Martin Luther K. Jr. Day to everyone. And he's a global phenomenon. So this is not a uniquely American holiday. This is really a global holiday celebration of a truly important and influential figure in history. So,
Indeed. Yeah. And
okay, then now that that's done,
give it to me.
Yeah, let's reveal to our users that I have not shared anything about what I'm going to drop today on poor Gary Stryker, because as in our pregame warm up, he's like, so tell me, what are these games we're going to talk about? What are these games we're going to talk about? And I said, no, I'm not giving you anything because I prefer you unprepared. So
thank you.
With that,
you're going to drop a load of research and stats on me, and I'm just going to be absolutely dumbfounded. And hopefully our 17 listeners as well will also be equally as impressed as well. So let's hope so.
It's 17 is incorrect. It's 19. No, it's at least 17.
Yeah. All right, Qooligan. So let's get into it. But before we do that, of course, guys, as always, hooligan-soccer.com. We are a year old now, and we have grown and we are continuing to grow, which is wonderful. So again, just conceptually, the idea is a vertical media business. We have articles, we have podcasts, we have YouTube, we have socials, all the newsletters, all of those wonderful things, and they all support each other. So please go and check out some of our writings, musings. Transfer season is upon us. We've got some rumors being dropped by the wonderful Indy Kyler, which are interesting. There's obviously some interesting sort of perspective as well from a lot of the fans and the creators. So yes, hooligan-soccer.
Yeah, I also want to give a shout out to Designated Pundits, one of our fellow podcasters, who took took a little bit of time off to do some home renovations and some other really, really needed, necessary personal life things, and has come back and is doing a bunch of fantastic work on the MLS upcoming season, including a number of previews. So as I'm tracking the MLS transfers and look for something coming out with that soon, there's going to be a lot from Bob Ventimiglia and company on that front. So go check them out. Some really, really good guests he's got on his podcast. So I encourage everybody to go listen.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Yes, indeed. No, Bob V and the Designated Pundits, so definitely it's well worth a listen. Okay, so we are in Champions League. It is Champions League.
Here we go.
Finally, first game week of the new year of 26. It's been a long time. I need to sort of recalibrate and look at the league table and see where everyone is and what's going on, because it has been quite a bit of a gap. And then the games do come thick and fast.
No, I mean, we got two more. There's two more left. We're in the crunch time. This is it.
Well,
this is
two more games, and then obviously knockout phase also as well, home and away, and two more fixtures as well. So there is going to be.
It's all about who gets the top 8 right now. I mean, that's what everybody's fighting for.
Exactly.
You get the top 8, you get a little breather. You play 2 fewer games, which in these congested seasons can be the difference between lifting a trophy and not. So yeah, that matters. And then of course. Really for those unlucky few, right? And there are going to be 12 of them. They're going home.
They're going home, yeah.
They hang their heads in shame, and there it is.
And so last season, 16 points and enough goals as well was kind of the cut line for the top 8 to get automatic qualification as well. With 2 games to go, everyone's sitting on 12. I probably suspect it's probably going to be a bit higher, maybe even, probably need 17 to hit that cut line this coming season as well. So we shall get into it. So Qooligan, let's go. All right, so go on. You're going to hit me with a whole bunch of stats and data because you've done a whole bunch of research while I have not. And I'm going to get okay.
You're the one who said that. I never said that. I just said I like you to be unprepared. That doesn't mean that I'm prepared. It just means that I know what I'm going to talk about, and that's a very different story.
The head fake. Oh, the old head fake.
Let us begin at the beginning, right? And so we start on Tuesday, and of course because of Kairat Almaty in far off Kazakhstan, whenever they have a home game, we have an extraordinarily early fixture, and that's going to going to be kicking us off. Where they play.
7:30 West Coast time for you. That is correct. Waking up on a Tuesday with a Champions League game. Yeah, look at that.
I mean, they play, and they are playing the equally hapless Club Brugge, who are, these are 2 teams they're languishing in the bottom. So, does it matter? No. But is it on, and will I watch it? Yes.
Okay.
not because it's going to be particularly any good. But I think for Brugge, this is a huge game. A win puts them up to 7 points, which means that they are not eliminated yet. They live to fight for game week 8, where they could, with another win there, maybe make it over the cut line. You said 16 points, 17 points. And by the way, you're a little bit off. 11
Last
points
season
was safety last season.
No, but I'm talking about automatic qualification, so you don't have to play those extra 2 games.
I mean,
yes.
Okay, well, that wasn't. You said safety, and safety means 20.
And therein lies the difference between you and I, Qooligan. I am a Chelsea fan, and my expectations are there, and you as an Ajax fan, well, expectations are somewhat different.
Easy. You gotta lay up with the Ajax fan thing. That's just you keep impugning me on that one, and But anyway, Ajax will be mentioned later on for important reasons. So with that first game, there it is, right? I think Brugge should win. This should be a win for them, even though they're going on the road with all the perils and dealing with a Kazakh winter.
The steps of Kazakhstan will be cold. And Kairat have only drawn, and they've got 1 point as well, so they're pretty hapless. I mean, that's okay. All right, and then
now the
next
second
game
fixture is also interesting because for this one, we travel above the Arctic Circle to Bodo, where they're going to be hosting Manchester City. And let me tell you something. I looked at the forecast. I did do some research, and I did look at the forecast. And Manchester City they must have sacrificed something because the weather's actually going to be very, very amenable. It's going to be about 30, 31 degrees Fahrenheit. That's about 0 to -1 Celsius, but it is not raining. And that's the key point, right? They have an early afternoon kickoff, which means absolutely nothing because you're above the Arctic Circle. There's only 2.5 hours of daylight.
It's just like winter time, isn't it? Yeah, depths of winter
and
right
daylight now. Is, it's a fungible term up there, right? I mean, the sun does actually get above the horizon, like way north, but still, it will be very dark. It will be very cold. That artificial surface that they play on will be very, very slick, and it'll be curious to see how City adjusts to that. Bodo has had some rum luck, in my opinion, right? They've got 3 draws, 3 losses. They also got a significant number of own goals, which contributed to their own demise. But I believe that they're a slightly better team than their positioning indicates. And they're always tough at home, So I think City's going to be hard-pressed on this one.
Yeah, well, as we saw again this last game weeks, they drew. Oh, they lost to Man United on the counter attack as well. So City, we called this as well. We did say this as well. Destroyed. City do look fragile at the back, despite their wonderful attacking prowess and all the goals that they can score. They got shown up, and it turns out you just go and park the bus and hit them on the counter, and there's that underbelly that you can get them at. So
and surprise, surprise, that's how Bodo play.
So there we go.
I mean, all really, right. That's their game.
They have to. And look, they're sitting there. I mean, they've only got 3 points with 3 draws as well. Again, looking from their side, just trying to get to that sort of, as you say, 11-point cut line. Yeah, they're on 3 points. They need a win. But
no, and Bodo's entire existence is to basically get scalps, right? I mean, that's the fans are showing up to watch legends play for City, but also to watch Bodo humble them as best as possible. And in that sense, they're very Norwegian. They like the parody. So,
but when they're playing, and Erling Haaland gets to go to his home country and play on his home turf as well, doesn't he?
I didn't even think of that. That is absolutely true. I wonder if there's anything special that the Bodo crowd have for Erling Haaland. Maybe some special chants that we won't be able to, that we will not understand because it'll be in Norwegian.
Okay. All right. So, I think, that's probably pretty nailed on for City there as well. And then the other game as well, we've got Copenhagen against Napoli. I'm surprised by Napoli's position here in the Champions League, right? They are riding high in Serie A, looking at that. They're in 3rd place, and, they're 6 points off the top of Inter, and Inter are dominating quite understandably. But Napoli, they just haven't seemed to get going. They're kind of almost polar opposite to Newcastle in a way, where they're just sitting there in 23rd place. They need a win just to keep relevant and keep live. And you'd think, well, Copenhagen as well. Copenhagen in 24th. So that is actually quite a good tight. They're next to each other, 23rd versus 24th, both on 7 points. So that's going to be a hard one to call. But Copenhagen at home, Denmark, winter, further north.
I don't see that as being a factor. Napoli should win this one. They are on paper so much stronger than Copenhagen are. And Copenhagen's wins have come against, minimal opponents. So when they've been faced with steelier sides, they've not performed. They've kind of crumpled. So I do think that Napoli, despite the fact that they're 23rd and 24th, and by the way, whoever sort of predicted out these fixtures, because I know it was done way in advance.
Yeah.
They've come up with some incredible teams that are really right next to each other in the standings in that given week. It's coincidence. I understand that, but still, it is a remarkable coincidence that so many games feature teams that are relatively close to one another in the fixtures.
As much as we bash some of the authorities and the governing bodies of this wonderful game, we do have to give credit to UEFA here in the Street Structure. It is
no predictive AI can come up with that. Sorry, that's that would take the computing power of a small nation, and even FIFA doesn't have that.
Well,
or UEFA for that matter.
UEFA have structured it, yeah. No, UEFA have definitely. You do have to give them credit. This new format Champions League now in the second season is definitely more entertaining. And I think you made this point is because even by now, after 6 games, they would have gone through all of their group phases, and the 2 top teams would have dominated with 6 points, 8 points, and they're through, and it's over, right? So it's still a lot more engaging. Okay, so I think probably the biggest fixture of the game week being tomorrow is Inter Arsenal.
Yeah,
both
number 1
teams
versus
dominating.
number 4. How can you? What's not to love?
Wait, who's number? What are you talking? Number 4 is in the position, or what are we? What are we talking
position,
about here?
Right in the table, Inter's 4th, and Arsenal's 1st.
I'm seeing Inter 6th, but we'll just have to maybe sort of agree that they're both on. Inter are on 12 points, lost the last 2
you're
games.
Right. Nope, 6 is correct. I misspoke. No, 4 was the number of goals they've conceded.
This is true. That is impressive.
No, they're the 2 best defensive sides.
Yep.
Right? Inter's conceded 4, Arsenal's conceded 1. You've got the 2 best defenses going after each other.
And the 2 best and dominating sort of their respective leagues as well. So this is again a very well matched up game.
This is juicy. There is one thing to note though. Inter is coming off of 2 straight Champions League losses.
This is true.
Right? They lost to Atletico 2-1. They lost to Liverpool 1-0. Close, drawn out, kind of gut-wrenching losses, to be fair.
Yeah.
I don't think Liverpool was better than Inter on that day. They just got the 1 goal in. Inter didn't. I can't recall the Atletico Madrid game, but I'm sure Simeone had something to do with it. But yeah, no, this is it. This is the match, right? If you're going to watch a match in the group stage where all the games, they start off at 3 p.m. Eastern, right? To 12 p.m. Pacific. This is, I think, the one. If you're going to devote 90 minutes of your life, this is the one you should watch.
Yeah,
there are other good games, but this is like the creme de la creme.
This will be a good one. Yeah. I on the prediction wise, you think Arsenal just cannot be better this season.
I think they're on a roll. This would be a shock. It would be a shock to see them lose this one.
Yeah.
I think a draw though is also extraordinarily likely.
It's going to be a tight game. This is not going to be a high-scoring game. It will be very, very tight. Yep. No, I think Arsenal definitely the team to beat this season. Absolutely. Okay, so you've got Olympiacos. You've got Marinakis is Olympiacos, and so he looks like
skip over this one. Olympiacos and Leverkusen. This is a
Leverkusen should dominate. Yeah.
No, this is a nothing burger of a match.
Yeah. Okay. Real against AS Monaco. Now, this is an interesting, you would say a rudderless AC Milan or a managerless. I know they've got Arbeloa as the assistant or the caretaker. And they lost again last weekend, I believe.
He's not caretaker. Nope.
He's actually got it? No. He's not Michael, he's a Michael Carrick. Is he sort of like sort of keeping the seat warm until the end of the season?
He was brought on full time. As far as my sources said, he's full time. This is not a caretaker position. This is not an interim position. They have pulled him in and given him the full authority.
Good luck to you. Good luck to you, kid, because
that's what I say.
AS Monaco.
I would have written this match off as a Real Madrid potential steamroller, but it is precisely Arbeloa's existence and the rather troubled start that he's had that makes this match interesting.
Yeah, they did.
They did have a fairly comfortable 2-0 win against Levante, over the weekend, Madrid. Right, yeah. So, sure. But if you're watching this, if I'm going to watch this, I'd be watching it precisely just to listen to the Bernabeu crowd. How are they reacting to it? Because anything less than total dominance, they're going to get a little vocal, and it could get nasty.
Yeah. This is true. I think is Pogba. We don't know if Pogba's going to get back in and going to play. I think that's the other
stop talking about him, man. He's done.
I know
He's
it
cooked.
just keeps
He's
on
over.
hamstring.
the fact that he's on their roster doesn't mean squat.
No, I know he's
They
getting
keep
his fitness
threatening
back
to
up,
put him on
yeah.
the field, and every time they back down
They're just
because
done.
it's
Okay.
no. They
Okay,
want to win
right.
this game. They're not going to put
Yeah.
Pogba on the field.
They don't want to be, yeah, they do. And Monaco, they're still sitting in the sort of, competitive zone. I mean, to be honest, only lost one game in the Champions League, so they're not doing too badly. In the French league, not so great, sitting in,
they're kind of miserable there.
Yeah, they are not doing so well. So it's all for the Champions League. That's what
I call what Monaco's going through right now. It's called accordioning, right? They're in an accordion form. They win one, they lose one. They win one, they lose one. They win one, they lose one. Literally, the last 4 pairs have been win, loss, win, loss, win, loss.
Okay.
As long as they don't flatline, they're going to be okay.
No draws. Yeah, draws are not acceptable in this world. Okay, Sporting, a very young and energetic Sporting Lisbon, who are doing really surprisingly well. I think I would almost go as far as to say outperforming where you'd expect them to be in 14th place against PSG, who, interestingly, just looking at the French league table, are not dominating the French league. Can you believe that? They're in second place. Have you seen who's leading the French league?
I have to say, you out-researched me on this one, Gary.
RC Lens. Yeah. Who?
Excuse me?
Exactly. Yeah.
Really?
What the hell is going on? Seriously.
Wow.
I had to double check and make sure that
I might
was
have to be paying
accurate.
more attention to Ligue 1
Well, to the French league. Well, RC Lens, I mean, it's all, well, French league is there, but yeah, they are. Yeah, look at that. They are 1 point ahead of PSG. Again, I think PSG is still getting going, as we saw last season as well. Again, they just qualified just inside in the Champions League, if you recall, and then just turned it on in the back half of the year. So this is where PSG probably become good and they start getting some of their players back as well. You'd think Sporting, who are doing quite well, as I say, in the Champions League, do have some young sort of promising prospects. I think PSG are probably just going to roll them over, and just by the fact that PSG have only really I'm going
to take a serious umbrage with that, and I'll tell you why. Sporting right now are undefeated in Champions League at home. They have not dropped.
Okay.
Their form is incredible at home, and I actually think it's going to be very uncomfortable for PSG coming in. I think they're gonna think they should win, but I think they're gonna find Sporting far more resilient than they expect.
It's not going to be a rollover. Oh, I agree. It's not going to be a rollover. But just looking at that firepower, the pedigree, and sort of this, this season's dominance,
but that's if they start. That's if he starts. What if he doesn't? I mean, they've only conceded 2 goals at home right now, and they've scored 9. So Sporting is a tough opponent.
Yep.
Right? They're averaging 8 shots on frame over 3 games. That's a lot to handle.
That is a lot of attacking firepower, isn't it?
Yeah. I think Sporting has more than a sporting chance.
Oh, there it is. Okay, right, we'll move on from that. Move on from that dad
joke. Dad joke over. Moving on.
Yeah. Okay. Well, speaking of dad jokes or jokes just in general, Spurs against Dortmund.
Yeah, that is a good joke. You're right.
Dortmund looking really, really sort of, really good at the moment in the German league. I was watching one of their games and they are looking very promising. Spurs, I mean, there's rumors going around that Thomas Frank could get fired because there are better managers who have been fired for less. Tottenham really have sort of capitulated in the Premier League. And so in the Champions League, they're holding on. But I again, also, as you said, 10th versus 11th, 2 teams next to each other as well. This is also a good, evenly matched up sort of pairing. This will be a good game.
What's different, though, is that when you look at Dortmund is coming into this fairly rested. They've only played 5 games. Right, since their last Champions League draw. And Spurs have played 8. So, and of those 8, Spurs have really kind of crapped the bed. All right. I mean, they are 5 losses, 1 win, and a draw. And that win against Crystal Palace 1-0 was perhaps one of the worst games in the Premier League, right, of the whole season. So, yeah, again, if you're watching this, you're watching to hear how the Tottenham Stadium reacts.
Whether they're up for it, yeah.
Because they have been merciless and very loud. Even though the games are ending with approximately half of the seats empty, because people aren't staying around.
Not a good sign.
They are expressing their discontent as if they were a full stadium. Yeah. This could be Frank's last game. If they get soundly defeated by Dortmund, if they're embarrassed by Dortmund, he may not make it to the Premier League fixture on Saturday.
Okay, wow. Yeah, and those are the rumblings you're hearing from the network. That's
not rumblings. That's just my own damn predictive nature and somewhat like It's Spurs, man. They're
It's
always
Spurs.
doing this. They're always
Spursiness.
doing this to themselves. I don't get it, man.
And so they just recently, we broke the story as well that they'd hired Johnny Heitinger. Thomas Frank took Johnny Heitinger as
Correct.
Spurs' their now assistant manager. There was a knock-on effect with Liverpool. Go and read it on hooligan-soccer.com as well. But what's interesting as well is Johnny Heitinger was the manager of Ajax, and who are the last game of that game week hosting Villarreal. And Villarreal are even worse than Ajax and only got 1 point as well. So you've got two bottom teams here.
Yeah.
If you're Ajax, you're thinking, if we can put 3 points on the board, you can climb up the table and they could still have a chance of getting into that knockout phase and qualified. They're going to have to deliver.
It would take a lot. It would
Yeah.
take a lot. It does not control their destiny. Yes, they could still make it into that phase,
Yeah.
but it would be at the mercy of a bunch of other teams colossally messing up.
But you can see they've gone for the bounce by also, as we saw you saw the wonderful news about Jordi Cruyff has now become the new technical director of Ajax as well. So there is there's probably a bit of
and now technically though he has not started. He doesn't start until February. If you think Jordi, of course, grew up in Spain, right, and so played for Barcelona, so he will be at that game, right? And if you think he's not there, and that's not going to put pressure on Grimm, right? Fred Grimm, who's their interim manager, and for all intents and purposes will stay interim manager throughout the rest of the season. And he'll be there and he'll be watching. And Ajax even though that they are effectively out of it, they still have quite a lot to play for. If only to make sure that Jordi doesn't get mad at you and ship you out on the next.
There is a real trend here of interim managers, and they're not just sort of 2-3 games. They are replaced halfway through the season, and then they just park there for the remainder of the season until they can find an appropriate.
We should come up with a catchy phrase like semi-caretaker manager, or like some. I mean, there should be some sort of expression for this, or
a semi-permanent assistant or something like
that.
Manager
X, right? Manager asterisk or whatever. Yeah. It's because it's true. And
Carrick is doing it. Yeah,
and to be fair, I don't blame a team when you've only got 3 or 4 months left. You just give it to somebody and you don't worry about it, right?
Bring it home. Yeah, just bring it home and just stop the rots. Exactly. Yeah. Okay, so that covers the first all of Tuesday's games as well. I think, so most interesting ones are there for sure. Definitely Sporting PSG, I agree. Inter Arsenal, we'll be looking at that.
Inter Arsenal is hands down the most important one of the lot.
Spurs Dortmund, and then also you're looking for a banana skin for Real Madrid against Monaco. You think there's a possibility that Real probably
and for PSG too. I think they both of those fixtures have a potential for upheaval.
Okay. All right. Let's push on. And then going on to Wednesday's games. Wednesday seems to have more of the bigger teams playing, which obviously is probably better for TV for whatever reasons.
Right. Bigger teams playing, but against lesser opposition, meaning that if you like to see goals, if you expect to see blowouts, this is the day that you're going to love. I look at this as the opportunity of who's gonna, you mentioned banana peels, who's going to slip. And there are some really good potentials. Is it going to be Liverpool who's going to slip against Marseille? They have to travel down to the docks, right?
The dock rats.
And take on the dock rats of Marseille. Is it going to be Chelsea who are inviting the Cypriot side, Paphos, into their house? Let me tell you something. If Liam makes the mistake of trying to field a B team, Paphos could.
Don't do it, Liam. Don't do it. Don't do it. David Luiz is coming back.
David Luiz is coming back. David Luiz, he wants to score at Stamford Bridge.
He definitely wants to do it. That's his character. That's exactly who he is. You know him. But and also Rafinha, interesting. Yeah, this is his 4th game and his 4th different competition. So that's talk about being thrown into the crucible there and go and figure that out.
Then the last one that's on my list is Bayern Munich is hosting Union Saint-Gilloise, and that is one where Gilloise have been. They're steely. They're not great, but they can be tough. I think Bayern railroads them, but those 3 all have tremendous opportunity for egg on the face, right?
Yes, they do. Don't they?
And so I'm curious, where will it happen? I don't know, but I'll be watching with that one.
Yeah. I think
one Schadenfreude moment. I'm waiting for it right there. I'm like, oh, come on. Who's going to do it?
USG, I don't see getting past Bayern. They are too strong. They are too dominant. They're cooking. Yeah. Although I think there are also some other potential banana skins as well. I think, and maybe not as big. PSV against Newcastle. That is not going to be an easy game for Newcastle. That is a good match. They are equally matched up. Yeah. Although, Newcastle's sort of sitting 2 points just ahead of them as well. So I do agree that is a good matchup.
I actually think that one. I don't see that as banana peel territory. I actually think that's a good fixture that has got some great potential.
Also,
Voltemata has he came in, he made his impact, but he's been a very quiet giant for the last few games. He's got to start stepping up and netting more, because he's standing there but doing nothing. I believe his last goal was an own goal to give the game to somebody else. And that's a little disappointing. And then the other one that I like is Benfica versus Juventus. I mean, these are two storied clubs with long history, Champions League stalwarts, going after each other. Why not?
Yeah. Jose Mourinho back against the old lady as well. And Juventus, I mean, just looking at Serie A, Juventus, I mean, struggling in 5th place. Didn't they also have a managerial change pretty recently? I think that is true. Yeah, there's so many managers going out alone. The other one, though, the other game, you're talking about just entertaining good matchup, Galatasaray against Atletico Madrid. Galatasaray are not as good a team as Atletico, but in terms of intensity and sort of shithousery, Galatasaray is a cauldron. And then
especially at home. And at home.
Exactly.
I mean,
Victor Osimhen has been looking good for them and does score quite regularly for them the Champions League as well. And look at them sitting in 18th as well. And then you've got obviously the wonderful shithousery of our boy Diego Simeone as well. So put him into the cauldron as well, and he'll
match the Turkish. He'll match Turkish intensity pound
individually,
and raise them a little bit, right? I mean, it's like these are the types of fixtures that he dreams about. He's gonna have a field day.
Yeah.
So there's good matches on Wednesday, right? It's true. I still think more of the drama's on Tuesday, but I think that some of the really colossal upsets could happen on Wednesday, which makes it that much more exciting.
I'm going to stick my neck out here, and probably this is a little bit of shade and Freud, but Marseille, Liverpool are just not looking like. Are
you going against the Reds?
I think really? Marseille, and wow. but I'm a Doc Rat super fan as well. I love the model of the idea of just getting the Doc Rats of Aubameyang, Ravel Morrison.
Sure.
Aubameyang as well, and Timo Weah as well, and that front line. And to be honest, in the French league, they are not doing too badly. They are sitting third in the French league. There's a bit of gap between them, and PSG, but I do think that's a potential banana skin. And Liverpool are away as well. So there is going to be some trouble there. Well, Qooligan brings us up to end of game week 7 that we'll be checking through as well, and then it'll get exciting. So are you going to be watching individual games, or are you going to be watching the Galazzo show?
I'll probably do the Galazzo show. I like the Galazzo show. Sort of keeps me abreast of everything that's happening, So.
It is a very good product. Wonderful. Well, look at that. We got through all of that inside of 30 minutes as always. So I will sign off there. I think that's a good place. And we will be back on Thursday, and we'll do another Premier League game week coming up, because that's what we've got going on. And then also as well, I think we're going to have to start looking into the MLS stuff, particularly as the transfer window happens. Only
34 more days till it starts. So yeah.
34. Yeah. We got to get into it. Wonderful. Qooligan, thank you as always. Until next time.
Peace.